Welcome on and on, Nyanko here, and today I'm here to talk about a Netflix series called Dota, A Dragon's Blood, or Dota Dragon's Blood anyway. It's based on a video game of the same name, and there's 3 seasons of it out so far. I'm hoping there's going to be a season 4, because I recently just binged it, and I have to say it was so good. So, I don't have any knowledge of the video games. But I do want to start playing them actually because I've really gotten into it through watching the series. So I think it's this particular series or set of series is based on Dota 2. So a brief overview of the series. So you've got Davion, who is a dragon knight, so someone who goes around and slays dragons. You've got Mirana, who is an exiled princess who is working for the goddess of the moon, Selimene. You've got the Invoker, who is playing his little schemes in the background, and then you've got Flinrin, who is an elven girl who has special abilities compared to other elves in her her clan, and then you've also got Marcy and Sabin. I think it's Sabin, Marcy and Sabin, who are the aides to Mirana, who we find more about as we go through the series. So yeah, basically these are our main cast, and it's set in like a magical Dungeons and Dragons type world, so a little bit like Dragon Age really. And you know, you've got Davion fighting the dragons, you've got like war brewing between the elves and the humans in the background, you've got, you know, the Invoker and his plan and his grief and his like schemes going on, and then you've got Selimene, who's kind of going slightly mad. She's the current goddess of the moon and the night, but you know, it's all kind of like puppets on strings and things going on in the background, and it's really good. And I actually have to admit, the character growth throughout all 3 seasons was amazing. So I'm not just talking about one of the seasons today, I'm talking about all 3, because I mean, I could talk about them individually, but I want to talk about all 3 of them together. So yeah, it starts off with Davion meeting Mirana in a bar, and then they part different ways. Davion then ends up following someone into like a cave and finds like an elder worm, who is like a really big, very powerful dragon. Finds it fighting another character, so the bad guy, one of the bad guys at the show, called Terrorblade, who's taken possession of who took possession of one of Davion's like party, who then takes possession of a big dragon, and he's fighting with the other elder worm called Skyrack, who's like a big fire dragon. You've got that happening, and then Davion chooses a side because he's like, no, this is wrong, we need to save the dragon. So then as the dragon's dying, he basically kills Davion, I'm sorry if this is spoilers, and becomes part of him, and then it's about Davion trying to become human again or feel more normal and figure out what happened to him. And while that's going on, he kind of teams up with Mirana, who's trying to find Flimrin, who stole the lotuses from Selimene's enclave and like her private worship temple, and they have her powers. Flinrin then, you know, gets to the Invoker, who she believes is like this magician from like ancient prophecy, and then you find out like more about it and like how Selimene is not really the original god of the moon, and you know, there's a load of stuff going on. Now I don't want to get too spoiler heavy because it might put you off watching it, but like I said, all 3 series are on Netflix. There's rumours of a season 4, but season 3 didn't come out that long ago, so nothing's been confirmed yet. But I really hope there is a season 4, because it's left little tidbits that you're like, that could be good. So yeah, like season 1 is, like I said, it's about them all like working through things and like slow character development. Season 2 happens, and then you get more into like Mirana's backstory, and you get more into like Davion. So like season 1 is kind of setting up the world, and it's really cool, and here are our characters, and then season 2 like builds on them and like really like makes you like them, and then season 3 is just like boom, you know, action, you know, this, that and the other. So I'm not going to spoil with season 3 because it, as I said, it's still relatively new out. If you haven't had a chance to get around to it yet, I don't want to give major spoilers. All I will say is I cried. There was points in all 3 books where I cried heavily. I really enjoyed it all. Like, the action scenes were pretty good. The animation style is stellar because, like, I really like the old-fashioned kind of 2D hand-drawn animation. which is why I kind of like a lot of the Netflix original series, as long as they don't use that CGI awfulness. I'm looking at you, Seven Deadly Sins. But yeah, you know, the characters have flaws. They're only human, you know, or even the elves have flaws, and, you know, they're just people. Everybody has issues, and it's really good. Actually, Luna, I'd say, is one of my favourites. I forgot to mention Luna. Because she seems... She's originally like the bad guy, who then kind of becomes the good guy, who then kind of becomes morally grey. Or is it she's the bad guy, morally grey, and then she's the good guy? But yeah, I really like Luna. Just because, you know, her past, she's running away from her past, and then she thinks she's got a new start, and then her past kind of comes back to haunt her a bit, with some of her actions. And now, like, as of like the end of book 2 and book 3, she's trying her she's trying her hardest to desperately change who she is, and to prove that she's not just a sadistic murderer, basically. I really liked her character development, because she was, you know, she's the epitome of you can change, you can do better, you can become more than who you think you are, or who you've been labelled to be, which I thought was really good. Mirana as well goes through quite a good story arc of being very, you know, like, lost in that sense. So she knew who she was, she became lost, she was stumbling to find her way, she thought she'd refound her way, and then she starts stumbling again, and it's about her then re-finding who she is, and doing what's right for the world, and not necessarily what's right for her. So that was good. But yeah, the animation, like I said, was absolutely great. The world building was really good. I thought maybe one or two places were a bit rushed, like in terms of romance that they had in it. But, I mean, you're given so many episodes, and you've got to cram in as much information as you can within that span. It did very well at doing the overarching story plot and keeping everything going and things. But I think each book's only like 8 or 9. Was it 10? 1 second, I'll double check. I can't remember how many episodes were in a season. Let's have a look. Okay, Wikipedia. Okay, so there's 3 seasons and there's 24 episodes. So yeah, okay. So the first book is 8 so they're 8 episodes each, basically. That's the thing. So you've got 8 episodes to cram in all of this info. They're only like 20 minutes long, half an hour, 20 minutes, half an hour. So you've got 8 episodes to get in what you can, because while also progressing the storyline. And they do very well with what the confines of what they're given. I kind of wish maybe there'd have been like 9 or 10 episodes a season, just to build on things a little bit more, but I'm not going to complain. It was really fun. Once I started it, I couldn't really stop. I just was watching it and watching it and watching it. So yeah, I enjoyed it. There was characters I agreed with, there was characters I disagreed with. I rooted for pretty much all of the characters throughout the entire show. And now, where you get left off in season 3, even if it doesn't get picked up for a season 4, it's left it in quite a nice place where you could be like, okay, I'm happy enough with this, like, this is okay. But yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think of the downsides to it, and I'm not really seeing any. There's some really good points about, you know, you're never alone. Just, you know, you need to ask for, you know, and don't be afraid to ask for help. There's other points about, like, don't let your pride get in your way. It's okay to run from a fight and live another day. There's, like, points about, like, climate change and, like, changing the balance of the order and stuff. So, like, one of the things is Davion learns that killing dragons is actually not a good thing. Now, the dragons are a bad thing at the same time, because they're constantly eating humans and they're, like, ravaging and pillaging. In that sense, you know, burning everything to the ground, or, you know, crumpling everything to the ground. But, like, there's specific types of dragon who are all pillars, and they're part of, like, creation, and if you killed them, you'd basically be upsetting the balance of the world. And I thought that was kind of a good metaphor for over hunting and extinction events in, like, humanity, and just being like, okay guys, look, everything has a balance, we need to keep the balance, you can't over farm, or you can't overkill this particular species because it'll have an effect on this, which maybe is a bit too political for people's fantasy shows, but I enjoyed it. It had, you know, good messages in it. I mean, there was a lot of violence, there was a lot of blood, there was a lot of guts, there was a lot of gore, but I mean, it's for adults, it is not for young children, so do not go out letting, like, your young children watch it. There's a lot of swearing, there's a lot of violence, there's a lot of death, but I mean, it is what it is. It's a fantasy show. It's, you know, in that sense I really like it because, well, there's certain characters that have plot armor. The other characters that you thought would have plot armor but don't are really cool, because you, like, you get attached and you love these characters, and then something can happen to them, or you might lose them, and you're like, okay, this is very much like what could happen in real life, you know? You form attachments, you form bonds, but then those bonds can be broken, those people can pass away or can just drift away from you in life, and I really enjoyed that. So, yeah, I would say go give Dota Dragon's Blood a watch on Netflix. Okay, my puppy's not happy. Why is my puppy not happy? 1 second, I'll be back. Puppy had lost her favourite toy down the back of the stairs. But yeah, where was I? Yeah, definitely. It's on Netflix. It's 3 seasons long. It's really good. I would highly recommend going and giving it a watch. If you start the first season and it's not for you, that's fine. If you find the first season can be a bit draggy in places, that's also fine. It is one where it's like there's an overarching story, and you can see that they had a couple of seasons already earmarked to make sure that the story got a full adaptation. Like I said, I don't know anything about the games, so I don't know how it translates to the source material. But if you guys know about that, comment down below in the comment section and let me know what you think is, you know, if there's anything that you would have asked that they do different between the adaptations. For me, as an anime only watcher, or as a TV only watcher, it was really good. You didn't really need, from what I understood anyway, you didn't really need to know anything about the games prior to going into the TV series, because basically the story started from the beginning and it, you know, went through to the end. So it was enjoyable if you had no idea of the game. I'm trying to think what else, really. Yeah, like I said, great characters, great story, loved the animation, it was a fun ride, you know, and it's a gem on Netflix. So, like, again, I don't understand why so many things just get not talked about when they're on Netflix. It's almost as if, like, oh, it's on Netflix, so I ain't gonna bother with it, or ugh, it's a Netflix adaptation. Nah. And yeah, alright, I'll give that to some adaptations, but not this one. This one was really good. And again, I really enjoyed as well the Dragon Age one that they did, and there's been a few others that, so like The Blood of Zeus, I really enjoyed that one as well. Probably will do a video on that at some point in the future. But yeah, Netflix has some really good shows, and they just go under the radar because people are like, it's on Netflix, and I'm like, guys, come on, go watch it, please. So yeah, it's available on Netflix. It's easy enough to watch. You can watch pretty much a season in a day, or you can watch all the seasons in a weekend. Not like I did that or anything. But yeah, other than that, my kittens, like I said, comment down below if you know anything about it that I don't. Tell me who your favourite characters were. Tell me what your least favourite bit of it was. If you had a least favourite bit, I didn't really. I kind of really enjoyed all of it, and I was like, yeah, I can see what they're doing with it. But no, other than that, take much care of yourselves, my darlings. Much love. Remember, eat something, drink something, and don't forget any of your medication if you're on any. And I will see you in the next video, my darlings. Love you. Bye!